with you and also you. I am StarzTina and welcome to the StarzTina Show. Today is a pop-up show, a pop-up event, because I have some amazing news. If you are looking to figure out why am I not losing weight? How many calories should I eat? How much should I exercise? If you don't know, this is the video to watch. Let's go! You're gonna enjoy
You
it.
can get through that.
Guarantee
You
it.
can get through anything, okay? And at that moment, I knew my life would change forever. Hello, how you doing? Yes. Can we all just stand up really quick because you've been sitting for a minute? Can we all stand up, move our legs around? I am Tina.
Meet Tina, StarzTina Wilson, a beacon of hope and transformation for women over 40. As a licensed life and health coach, Tina specializes in empowering those who have faced life's toughest challenges.
The edge of their seat. So when someone says, Tina, how did you do? I'm going to say, I had it at the edge of their seat.
Drawing from her personal triumphs over tragedy, Tina guides women on a transformative journey. Her unique approach is grounded in the 5 pillars of transformation: mindset, heart set, nutrition, fitness, and resilience. Tina's mind, body, and soul awakening program isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. Through her online fitness boutique studio, she merges physical well-being with emotional growth. As an international motivational speaker, Tina's voice resonates across continents. She inspires and educates through her podcast, her dynamic presence on platforms like Clubhouse and Toastmasters International, and her compelling storytelling. Celebrating her latest achievement, the publication of her first book, No More Traumedy, Tina continues to leave a lasting mark in the art of transformation.
I said I need to make a book for anyone who's had some type of trauma or tragedy because there's no playlist. People don't like to talk about it. Remember I was with my coach and I'm like, well, this person's got a cool thing. They do motivation. They do finances. I talk about traumedies. That's not cute. He's like, Tina, you make traumedies look good.
Yeah. StarzTina Wilson, transforming lives by overcoming one traumedy at a time.
Hey, so welcome. This is our nutrition call, our nutrition link. Once a week, our tribe likes to get into the nutrition of things, and that's what today is all about. If you didn't know, I am Tina, also known as StarzTina, and I am a life and health coach. The name of our company is Elevate 360. When you think of Elevate, what do you think? You think high, elegant, right? Opulent. So Elevate 360 is all about the whole mind, body, soul experience, everything that you have when it comes to your motivation. I am that person that's going to take you from good to great to amazing with the motivation. It's so simple. It's in my heart, it's in my soul. But we all know motivation doesn't last that long, correct? Well, after the motivation comes the inspiration. And I get my inspiration from God. It's just kind of like just comes down into my soul. And he empowers me to inspire you to dig deep for your why. We all have a purpose. We all have a why. And it's sometimes I feel it's my job to figure out what is your purpose, what is your why, so that you can be inspired. Now, after the inspiration, after the motivation, after the inspiration comes. Now, we all have the ability to be transformed. It's there. But something gets stuck right here between here and here, your head and your heart. Something gets stuck for that transformation because you got to do the work. You got to dig deep, right? Digging deep may seem like not overeating and not exercise. It's living a healthy lifestyle, right? That's super important. Doing the work can mean breaking up with a man that you know isn't good for you or a woman that you know isn't good for you. Maybe it's leaving a job that you know it's not good for you. Doing the work varies for each and every person. And that's why I love to partner with women that are over 40 that are struggling with some type of trauma or tragedy. I like to call that word traumedy. And the traumedy, my friends, is when the energies of those two, trauma and tragedy, come together and it shakes you and rocks your world. And it's something you never expected. And I've been gifted with the ability to have many traumedies in my life. God has empowered me to push through them, right? You ever hear turn your test into a testimony, turn your mess into a message, right? And I've been able to conquer that and push through. I actually wrote a book about it. It's called No More Traumedy. Shares a little bit of my story and the things that I did to get through that. Now, as a life and health coach, as I mentioned, I partner with women that are struggling in that area. And when you're struggling with current traumas and tragedies or past ones, it's hard to move forward in life successfully, right? You may be overweight. You may be stressed. You may be confused, not confident, tired all the time, frustrated. Like, why can't I seem to get it together? You know what you need to do, but you can't seem to do it. I remember back in the day, okay, not every, but most Sundays, I'd say, okay, tomorrow I'm starting that diet. Tomorrow I'm starting. Then Monday morning would come and midday through the day, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot I was supposed to start my diet today. Am I the only person who's like that? Or maybe it's midweek. It's because you don't have that mental toughness. You don't have that clarity. And I'm able to tap it. Now, before I say what I'm able to do, you got to be willing to, you have to be teachable, you have to be trainable, you have to be coachable, right? Because a lot of people can say it. Well, I want this, I want this. Okay, so do this because I can guarantee if you do exactly what I tell you to do, you will reach your goals. But a lot of people don't do that. It's time for a water break, guys. By the way, Tuesdays and Thursdays are water bottle challenge day. So today our goal was to drink a gallon of water. How much water did you drink today? Can you guys tell me how much water did you drink? I'm just curious. So with that being said, these women that I partner with, it's one-on-one for some of them. We also have group coaching. I love the group coaching. And we figure out what the problem is. But the cool thing about my coaching, I'm not like any other coach, guys. I say that because, yes, I focus on one thing, your health and wellness. And health and wellness include your mental health, your physical health, your eating, your nutrition, your everything. But I stretch it, I stretch my coaching all the way out, right? And with that being said, if you're a client of mine, once you've reached a certain level, I'm going to pull even more out of you. And what I mean by that, we all have a story inside of us, right? In our belly, in our guts. You have something that wants to come out, that needs to come out. Kind of like if you eat something bad and you have to get rid of it, right? That's what happens with a lot of people. There's a story in you. Sometimes you're scared to share that story. And there's two reasons why it's so important to share your story. The first reason why it's so good to share your story is because it releases you of that pain. Now, I'm not saying go around and share your story and you're crying and you're complaining. No trauma dumping. There's no trauma dumping allowed. All right. You don't want to share from the wound. And what I mean, the wound is like the hurt place, the trauma. If you're not healed, if you're not, if you're not able to talk about it without crying, you're probably not at that level where you can be to talk about it, to, that sort of thing. So important. So with that being said, what I do with some of my clients is I empower them to share their story, whether it's by speaking, whether it's by writing books, and I am so excited about this newest client right here that I have. She's absolutely amazing. Community. Community is so important, right? By the way, if you're watching this, there's something scrolling on the bottom. And I'm going to put my phone number there. And I want you to text me. If you're watching this and you're like, you know what, girl, I see you all the time. What is that community about? I decided to open up our community free um, by texting this number right here, the number that's scrolling there. When you text the word community, we will send you a personal invite because there are some rules, right? There are some things you got to do. Personal invite, join our community because there's so many levels to it, right? We have just our regular WhatsApp, Facebook group, and then we have our fitness classes, and then our one-on-one coaching. We're in our second or third month of our prayer challenge group. We're calling it Elevate Your Faith. That's something brand new. I actually just came up with the name this week because I'm like, 40-day prayer challenge is not a good name for for a group. So I'm so excited about that. With that being said, tonight's topic, this is the nutrition call tonight. I'm going to be talking about your BMR. And you're probably like, what is BMR? Well, it's very, very important because numbers, right? 1 + 1 is 2. We all know that. 2 + 2 is 4. Good job. So when you're looking to lose weight, there's some certain numbers that you need to know. Now I'm going to do a little test right now, okay? I want to see who can type this answer in the chat the fastest. while I take my water break. Today's not Thursday. I was just testing you guys, right? It's Wednesday, but I'm prepping for my water bottle. For me, I drink a gallon every day. That's my goal. But here's the question. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? All right, get ready. Get your palms ready. If you're on your phone, where are you? The question is, how many calories do you have to burn to lose 1 pound? I'm giving you 10 seconds. Go. Do 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 do. Ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Hi there, Denise. Okay, so no one got the answer? The answer is, come on, somebody, at least try. Give me something. 200 calories? 1,000, 2,000. I asked this question because when I started my fitness journey, hi Teresa, hi Audrey. When I started my fitness journey, Teresa said 3,000. Good, good, but not no cigar. That's not correct. Keep trying, guys. Keep trying. When I first started my journey, at 800, good guess, but that is wrong too. Keep it trying, keep it going. When I first started my journey, I like to eat, guys. Am I the only one that likes to eat? I love to eat, especially chocolate cake. I papi chulo. Did anyone get the answer? Come on, keep guessing, guys. Keep guessing. So I called up this girl who I always saw working out, and I said, "How many calories does it take to burn 1 pound?" Because my goal was if I knew that number, I could work out. I could eat, and then I could work off the calories. But I hate to tell you guys, you cannot out eat a bad diet. Never gonna happen, right? And I saw a great post on Instagram the other day, and it was breaking up how we eat, and the smallest portion of how we lose weight is by exercise. Everyone thinks you want to exercise and that's where you burn the most calories. No, I'm going to tell you in a second. 80% of the way you look is by what you're eating. So important. 10% is your genes, your family, and the other 10% is exercise. So it's really like that much that it takes of, to get rid of that weight. I'm not saying don't exercise. I'm not saying that because it's very good for the mental. But one portion is the exercise. Another portion is your genes. And then I see someone said 500. We're trying. Audrey said 80-20. Really like that. Renee, you do the pops thing, so I don't have time for that. So as I said, a little percentage, little is your exercise. Another one is forgive me, is your genes, the way your family looks, and then what you're eating. Do you want to see what the biggest portion is for how you're burning calories? We're talking about it today. BMR, basal metabolic rate. That's how much muscle you have in your body because the more muscle you have, the more calories you're burning, right? So the answer is no one got the answer right. The answer to the question of how many calories do you have to burn to lose 1 pound is 3,500 calories. Some of you were close. That's a lot, right? 3,000. Now, if any of you have an Apple Watch, I want to invite you to just check out your heart rate. Scroll on your watch right now, type in the chat, what is your heart rate? Maybe you know it, maybe you don't know it. Because again, going back to those numbers, when you want to be healthy, that's the goal, healthy. Yes, you may want to look sexy naked because Lord knows I do. But we're talking about health and wellness today, right? Meaning no high blood pressure, no high cholesterol, no diabetes, none of that stuff right there. It's very, very important that your numbers are all good. So right now, we're talking about your heart rate, your resting heart rate. Now, if you don't have an Apple Watch, that's okay. You can take your 2 fingers right here on your throat where you hear that blub, 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 or you can put it on your wrist here. What you don't want to do is you don't want to use your thumb because your thumb has like its own pulse, right? And you're here and you can count it for a minute or 30 seconds. If it's 30 seconds, you double the number because you know your resting heartbeat. How many beats in a minute? Now, the average, does anyone give their numbers? Does anyone know the resting heart rate? The average resting heart rate is 72. That's the average. That means you're healthy, you're good. If your heart rate is over 72, that means you're really making your heart work hard, right? And our little heart, blah, 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 we don't want to work in that hard. The lower your heart rate, the more healthier your heart is. It probably means you do a lot of cardio, you do a lot of movement. My resting heart rate is super low. It's like between 59 to 60. It's pretty low because I've been, I do a lot of cardio and that whole thing. So when it comes to your eating, your resting heart rate, when it comes to the BMI, and as I told you before, we have a special guest coming through today. I'm so super excited about our special guest. But I just wanted to get the nutrition stuff out of the way first, right? If you're just tuning in, we are talking about your basic basal metabolic rate. We're talked about our community if you want to join this here. But today, as I mentioned, the importance of this. So, what is BMR? Does anyone know? BMR. BMR is your basal metabolic rate. I'm going to say that again. BMR. And some people are like, what is that? You may hear BMI a lot. I personally don't like BMR. BMI, that's your body mass index, because for Black people, this is my opinion. It's a little different, right? It goes by your height and your weight, and boom, that's it. Because that's my opinion. I like to go by fat. I'm sorry, by fat or protein or water or that those sort of numbers. For example, the scale that I use shows you everything. It's actually an app on my phone that shows my scale of every single number that I'm going through. So your BMR, sorry, Pearl, is your basal metabolic rate. And this is the number of calories your body burns every single day to keep you alive. You don't have to do anything. This is before you work out, you walk, you blink. It's just you sitting on the couch, laying in bed. Simple. That's all it is. Now, there is an app. So you want to get on like ChatGPT and figure out what it is, or on my scale. My scale shows it right there. It's a whole combination. It goes by your height, it goes by your weight, your height, your weight, how much you weigh. I said that already, and how much exercise you're doing, and it'll tell you what this is. Does everyone understand that? Give me a thumbs up if you understand that. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Once you got it, 30. You're taking good notes. I love that. Yes. So let me tell you why this is so important. So think of your body as a cell phone, right? The BMR is the battery power. It just needs to stay on. That's it. You can't stream, you can't scroll, you can't watch videos, nothing. So think of it like that to kind of help out your mind. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is TDEE, which is your total daily energy expenditure. TDEE, total daily energy expenditure, is your BMI plus all the movement, your workouts, walking, even chasing after your kids, chasing after your hubby, all that stuff. So say, for example, your BMR is 1500, right? And you have a super, super active life, which means your TDEE is really high. It might be 2500. That means that's what's going to fill your tank. So what you need to do, because a lot of people are saying, well, how do I know how many calories to lose I need to burn to lose weight? Well, first of all, we know it's 3,500 to lose 1 pound. So whenever I teach a class or work out, my goal is to burn 500 calories a day. 500 calories a day is 3,500 calories for the week. But there's more. There's more. You're like, Tina, you're confusing me. Then you have to figure out how many calories are your basic calories, right? How much you have when you work out, put those together and then subtract. And it's very important. You want to make sure that you're not doing too much or too little, because if you have too few calories, you're going to be tired. You're going to have cravings all the time. You're going to lose muscle, and we don't want to lose muscle, guys. We want to have those nice, big, strong, okay, it's not that big, but it's kind of big, big, strong muscles. So important. Now, if you have too many calories, you're just eating and eating and eating and eating it. What do you think is going to happen? You're going to gain weight, right? So you need a smart deficit, not starvation. You want to aim between 3 to 500 calories under your total number that we talked about. You're probably saying, I can't figure this out. If you want it, there's a text number there. Text the word community. We will reach out to you, let you join our community, get a one-on-one consultation with me so I can go over your whole health assessment, right? Health assessment consists of your mental and your mental and your physical and all that great stuff as well. And we love our community. So I told you we have a special guest today. Let me see who's backstage. Let me see who's backstage. Did I lose our special guest, Renee? I don't see her. Well, Not on right now. Looks like our special. Maybe I was talking too much. I don't know. Oh, nope, she's back. She's back. All right, guys. So, as I told you, once a week we like to have our nutrition calls, but I like to pop in some extra stuff in there because we have some amazing people. This one lady, she's always talking about juicing, right? You have to do what's best for your body. That's another thing that's super important. Once she puts her camera on, I'm going to pull her up. She's actually the author of this book. How did I get there? And I was talking about community earlier because community is so important. I met her last year when I went to California for and I was on stage with Lisa Nichols. Okay, if you know Lisa Nichols, she has okay, I don't even find any hair. I'm looking for some hair to pull back. She has an event. She has lots of events, right? But she had her speak and write event where we got to meet her, dance with her, party with her, learn from her, cry with her, all that great stuff. And I don't even think I met Hannah there. She has to tell me when she gets, can I get your camera on, girl, so we can start the conversation. Um, like I was saying, she did the event. I don't know if we, there she is. Hey, girl. Hey, how you doing?
The door. Oh,
How you
that's
feeling? She's like, close the door. Can we see your whole beautiful face? I see a lot of the window of the door over there. Hey, sunshine. How you doing?
Hi.
So, how did we meet? Did we meet at Lisa's event or just after the event?
We were on the live, the virtual first. Then I think you went to the live, but I stayed on the virtual to complete the rest of the course. So we
Okay, so
were
you
in
didn't go in, you didn't go in person? You didn't go in person?
no, but we met in rooms on Zoom on the virtual classes.
Gotcha,
Yes.
gotcha, gotcha. So see what I mean, guys? Community. And I think I actually met her on another WhatsApp group. It doesn't even matter. But I have Hannah here. She's part of our community. And before she gets into her book, I'm really impressed with what she does about juicing because she's always popping in the chat, talking about she's growing this fruit and growing that fruit. Hannah, tell us a little bit about yourself and your fitness journey and how you do this whole thing with your foods and juices and stuff.
So, hi everyone. My name is Hannah Coffee, and how do I do my juicing? Well, I like to add a multiple amount of stuff together, which is the things that fight inflammation, high cholesterol, and just cleanse the body. So I do celery. Celery helps with high cholesterol and also with your blood sugar and stuff like that. Then I add the cucumber, which purifies your inside. It keeps it refreshed and rejuvenated, helps it to function well. The ginger also helps with the inflammation. So I love combining those together and it makes me feel good.
I
so
love
I I do a lot of stuff on my transformational journey, especially after I met with Tina. It got even better because we started to learn more. And in the learning mode, it pushed me to do even more, like go back to my diet that I had before, removing a lot of different foods that does not help my weight loss. And it's been phenomenal. I love it.
really quick, what does healthy living, healthy lifestyle, health and wellness, what does that mean and look like to you? Because for some people, it's being a size five. For some people, it's running a marathon. For some people, it's just being able to get out of bed. What does that look like for you and why?
For me, it looks what it looks like for me is um a a a, a renewal of my life because one, with the weight loss, it prevents me from
I don't know if she's frozen on your end, but she looks like she's frozen on my end. Renee's giving me a nod that she is frozen. Um, So when she gets back, we'll take that over again. But she's making me think when she's talking about a renewal. Today, I did an event for seniors. I did a nutrition and hydration workshop for seniors. And my mother came through. I don't know if she's available. Oh, Hannah's back. Come on through, Hannah. You can just pop her in, Renee. Go ahead, Hannah, if you're not frozen. It looks like she's still frozen. If she's still frozen, pop my mom through real quick. So I did this health and mom. When we finish this conversation, we can bring her back, Renee. Mommy, we did a health and wellness event today for seniors. Mommy, can you introduce yourself and let the people know what you do?
Hi, I'm Miss Hattie. I'm StarzTina's mom, and I teach a fitness class twice a week for her, the Silver Stars. And I also teach in my community, and I go into senior center, senior living, and I volunteer and I teach
I
workout
love it.
classes to them.
I love it. If you have a mom, a grandmother, an aunt who needs to move, I definitely want to invite you to take my mother's classes. She also has a course. She has her own little landing page. And mommy, my mother's in Texas. I'm in Florida. So a lot of the women and guys that were there, they were so excited, mommy. And she didn't have them doing that much. And they were like, oh my gosh, this hurts. It's sore. One lady said she couldn't even put her hands over her head. And after everyone left, I was talking with some of the staff and I just could not believe it. They were saying how they just don't move, right? So it's very important that you say, mommy, if you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. Can you tell us very briefly a little bit about your story before we bring Hannah back?
Sure. Well, I
Because I
was
know
a
you've
runner back in the day.
I know, mommy, I know you've done three amazing things. Can you tell us the three amazing things you did?
Sure. I ran a half marathon for my 70th birthday and I won. And I also got to run in one of the world's largest 10K, 55,000 people, and I finished it. And I get to teach seniors in my community and let them know, we have to move because a lot of them don't realize it. And I didn't realize I was a senior until my 70th birthday.
Was it always this way, mommy? Were you always with all these highs? Was it always this way?
Hey, where do you think you get it from? Yes.
But it always was
Yes.
not this way. What happened in 2020? I'm trying to coach her through, guys. It's not working. I
Oh,
was trying to get her to tell, it blows my
well, see, I
mind
try
that
to cut
my
that out of
mother,
my life. Fine,
it,
fine,
it
fine.
blows
Well,
my
see,
mind that wait, what do you
in
mean, mommy? Wait,
2020,
mommy, wait a second. Wait, maybe her hearing aid's not working. Hold on a second, mommy. It blows my mind that she did a half marathon and one in her age group at the age of 70. That truly blows my mind. And let me tell you guys, I cannot believe that same year she did a 10K in hot Georgia and finished it. And it's still like, I can't believe that she teaches fitness classes to seniors, but it wasn't always this way.
no, it wasn't. You see, back in 2020, well, even before 2020, I was told to stop running, find another sport. I was told that in 2015. And I got depressed. I gained like 45 pounds. I was walking with a cane. I just wasn't good for nobody, really, really. And COVID hit in 2020. And I was blessed to have all my girls under the same roof with me. But Stars Tina took a look at me and said, Mommy, what happened? And she says, You're going walking. And I'm saying to myself, No, I'm not. But she made me go. I said, I got a cane. She said, Bring it. And I went walking with my cane and I was walking. Then I start dancing with my cane. And one day I forgot to bring my cane and she said, Well, you don't need it no more. And I just felt good. And I started speed walking. And then I realized
What did you
the
learn from that,
key
mommy?
was
What did you learn
moving,
from this experience?
that you just had to move. Because the more I moved, the better I felt. And with my doctor saying, Stop running, it wasn't clicking.
What else did
So
you
I
learn, mommy?
decided to run the
Thing you
half
learned from this?
marathon and then I ran it and I won in my age group.
What did you learn when you
So
keep working hard? What happens? What did you learn? Tell me three things you learned from this.
I learned to trust me. If I feel I could do something, go for it.
What else did you learn?
I learned that there are other people like me that don't know this.
What else did you
And
learn, girl? Tell us, tell us.
we just have to move. You don't have to do the traditional, just move. Reach up. It's very important to reach. I had a 3/4 frozen shoulder because we tend to think, okay, let's put stuff down low so we could get it. But you have little muscles here, and if you don't use them, they're going to lock up in your shoulder, and you're going to be, ah. So always reach.
Awesome. Mommy, tell us when your classes are, what days and what times. Do you have the Silver Star sneakers? I'm sorry, Silver Stars, which is focused for seniors. When is your class?
My class is Mondays and Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time.
Yay. Thank you for rolling through. If you want more information, elitestars.com/silver stars. You can work out with Miss Hattie and her crew. We got Miss Lula over there. Carla comes through sometimes. The music is phenomenal. Mommy, give us a little outro before you get out of here to just inspire someone who's watching this right now and like, man, I wish I could move. Man, I wish. Can you give us some type of inspiration, please?
Yeah. I learned from going in and teaching these, showing these young people my age. If you can move your toe, just move that toe. Listen to the music. Listen to your body. You have to start somewhere because if you don't use it, I mean, every single cell in your body will start shutting down. So you have to use it. Just move. Dance, laugh, jump rope, have fun, sit in a swing in the park, have someone push you. It's moving. I love you.
Yay! I love you. I can't wait to see you on Tuesday. Mwah, 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 mwah. Thank you for coming through today.
All
Okay,
right.
so if you're watching this, I am Tina, and today we're talking. Well, I already talked about it. You got to press rewind if you missed it. Okay, we were talking about basal metabolic rate. We're with Hannah right now. Renee, pull our Hannah girl back. Hannah was telling us her secrets with her juicing and her garden. Throwing it back to you. I hope you remember where you were, girl, because I don't.
Yeah.
Go.
So was why I do what I do, and it's because it makes my body feel rejuvenating, feel alive, and it also helps my body to function right. My organs, my kidney, my liver, my heart, all
Okay,
the
somebody's
juice.
watching this, and someone's watching this, and they're like, "What is she talking about?" Can you tell them again what you're talking about?
I am talking about the juicing and why I do the juicing and why it's important for us to juice. Because when we juice, we are able to digest all the substance, the ingredients, the nutrients that the fruits and vegetable provide, and it helps with the fiber to help our body function better. Our bowels, our liver, our kidneys. That's so far we can able to help our body keep away from high blood pressure, from diabetes, and a lot of other things that would our body will attract when we do not eat the right things.
How often do you
Yes,
juice?
I juice once a week for an entire week. So like this
You
week,
said once a week for an entire week. Once a week for an entire
so
week.
I make a week of supply.
Okay, I'm
I
like,
mean 1 week supply. So if I do the like 2 days ago, I made carrot, beet juice,
separate
celery, and
ones or one together.
I put it in a juicer. I peeled it up
I mean,
and I
I
put
mean,
it
I
in.
mean, like, is it celery juice, beet juice, or is it all combined juices? Oh, she's coming back, guys. She's coming back. She's coming back.
Yeah,
I'm asking her
and
this.
then I bottle it and I put it in the refrigerator. So every day I take one bottle. I drink one bottle
Gotcha.
every day. It could be
We
in the
lost you
early.
for a hot second. I said, is it only beet, only celery, like only individuals, or do you put them all together? I didn't hear you.
I put them all
Okay.
together.
I want to scream. She's gonna come back, guys. And after she talks about juicing, we're gonna talk about her book. You hear a little accent there, right? There she is. Come on back, girl. Come on back. All right, finish off your juicing so we can hop on to the next topic. Go ahead.
So with the juicing, it's all together. So I add the carrot, the apple, celery, and cucumber, and I cut them up and I place them in a juicer, and then I extract the juice and I bottle them, and I drink one bottle every day. It could be in the morning before my coffee or in the evening before I go to bed.
I
Yes.
love this. Audrey says only juice for meals once a week or one juice per day. So you answered that. You do a juice every day, you said, right? Someone's got a
Yes.
question for you. Renee, if you can help me with these notes here, what juicer do you use, Hannah? What's the name of the juicer?
Mm. I do not have the juicer right off my mindset. But you can go onto Amazon and you can find a couple juices on there which they work perfect. And you can mix a lot of different things together. But
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, I did that before. All right, so guys, thank you for rolling through. We're not finished. We're getting to the meat and potatoes now. To the meat and potatoes, onto her book. So you notice she has an accent. When I met her, it's just her book is coming out. We have a launch date, July 19th, and I wanted to bring her on here so she could tell us a little bit about her. I'm so stuck on Juice Girl journey, on your journey about your book. Can you tell us a little bit, not too much, what your book is about and why you decided to write a book, right? Because I always say people have a story. Let me hear.
So my book is about my journey, the journey that I took from my hometown, Dominica, which is located in the West Indies, and to
Not
America.
Jamaica, right? Not Dominican Republic, right?
No, Dominica, West Indies. West Indies. And through that journey, the steps I had to take and the things I had to overcome, it allowed me to reach a point where I started reflecting on myself, who I was as a woman, how I got where I am today, and how I overcome my challenges. So in the beginning, I doubt myself. I was like, I can't write this book. I'm not somebody who can write a book. And then I'm like, Hannah, why are you doubting? God has given you the ability to do anything that you want to do as long as you believe and you trust him that you can do it. He will make ways. So I started when after the meeting with Lisa, when I came from the
Speak and grow. Speak and write.
speak and write with Lisa Nichols, I started writing. I just was like, I picked up a book and I just started writing. I'm like, whoa, is that coming from me? And I'm like, yeah, it's you, Hannah. Continue. So then I wrote the book and I still doubted myself. But when I use my own book. Would you imagine that? I use my own book to help me get out of my own doubt. And I reflect on the book, I reflect on my chapters, and I was like, so if I can write it for somebody else, why can't I use it for myself? And then I started to go back into my challenges and my ways of how I overcome certain things in my life. And there was no more doubting. There was like, get it done and get it out there so it can help others.
I
Others can
love it.
read it and reflect on their own selves, not
I
just
love it.
knowing me, but reflect on themselves and find the little nits and gnats of how they can overcome and how they can rejuvenate and restart their lives.
I love it. So I got the honor of coaching her guys through this book, um, with all of it, right? And I want to really quickly talk about chapter 18. You talk about embracing change and growth. And I love this right here, just the bullet points, right? Early transition years. And she's saying how moving from Dominica to the United States was one of the most significant changes in her life. It was a leap into the unknown. It just makes me think how sometimes you have to leap, that faith. If you guys see this right here, I don't even know if you can see it. Oops, this right here, I can get it to the camera. Does anyone know what this is? Does anyone know what Bible verse
The
this has to
novel,
do with? You said a marble. You see my fingernails, right? So it can show you how big it
yeah,
is. What do you
it's
think this
very
is?
tiny.
It's very tiny. What do you think it is? Anybody?
Mm,
Nobody knows? Come on, Hannah. You do the juicing, you do the vegetables, you read the Bible. You have no
A
idea what this little
mustard
thing
seed?
is.
A mustard
Yes.
seed?
Yes. Yes. This is a, and you see how tiny it is, right? Like if you see my
Yes.
fingernail, that's my fingernail, and that's the seed. My point is having that faith in yourself, not only in yourself, but that God is going to take care of you. Hi, Teresa. Having that faith to know that you can achieve anything if you just trust. And you have
Yes.
to think of it like your hands are here and you're just falling backwards, and you just have to give up the fight, give up the control, right? So that's what I'm loving about this chapter. Ooh, my little mustard seed. I don't know what you guys want to see, something else super cute. Look at this right here. I think we all need a little Jesus in our life. We all
Yeah.
need a little Jesus. You need a little
Mm.
Jesus in your life. Anyway, I love how, the transition right there. And then you talk about the role of change and personal growth, because you have to trust in yourself. You have to be able to stretch your mind. Also, the importance of growth mindset. We always talk about fixed mindset and growth mindset, growing, navigating life's transitions. Life doesn't stop. Life be life, and okay. I know it's the slang. Life be life, and you're on the road. It's like you're driving, and bam, someone hits you. Let me get back on the road. Bam, another side. That's life. It's going to happen. Are you going to let the cars knock you over? You're going to let the rain knock you down? Or are you going to keep going? You got to keep going. You're here, right? I also love how you say here the power of adaptability, because you have to be able to adapt in all areas, whether it's different races, different income levels, different religions, right? You have to be a little chameleon, or, just be able to go through all the things. So, so very important. So I love the adaptability, very important. And the role of faith in embracing change, right? Embracing change as a path of fulfillment. So I'm loving this, girlfriend. So if you're just hopping on, we're talking about how did I get there? In closing, Hannah, by the way, July 19th is when we are having her virtual event. We have some cool speakers coming through. It's going to be a party, guys. It's going to be a party. So make sure you sign up. You can sign up right there. You can pre-order your book. She's going to be doing a course. Okay, she doesn't know this yet, guys, but as her coach, she's going to be doing a course. She's going to be doing workshops. She's going to be doing all sorts of things. But before, so watch out for it. So Hannah, tell us a little bit about, how did you get there? How did you come up with the concept?
um it's very strange. So in writing the book, I was seeking for the name. And then one day I was just sitting in my room meditating, and I'm like, Lord, you allow me to write this book. So how am I gonna, what is the name for the book? And then thinking about the journey of my life and my development, the name came up. How did I get there? Yes. So I choose to give it that name because of the journeys and the way it turned out. Yeah.
I love it. Could you imagine where, back then, did you think your life would look like it's looking today?
No, no. If somebody told me that y- like 18 years ago, I would tell them they're lying. So,
Now,
but
Hannah,
I'm happy they did not.
love it. Hannah, I'm going to bring up a topic, and I should have asked you off camera. And if it's inappropriate, just say, I don't want to talk about that. I'm not sure, but I think you can actually handle it. I believe that God puts people together for certain reasons. And I meet a lot of people, guys, right? And Hannah and I have something very similar in common. Looking at us on the outside is, looking at us, how do we look? Do we look good? Do we look amazing? Do we look happy? Do we look full of joy? Do we look like we love our life? Thumbs up. What do you think? What do you think, Hannah? Do I look like I love my life? You look like you love your life. I love my life,
Yes,
right?
yes. I
But say it
do.
again, Hannah. I hear you.
I love my
Right
life.
this
I
moment, right
do.
at this moment, right? But I say that to say, if you guys didn't know, I mentioned
Yes.
earlier, I wrote a book called No More Traumedy. And traumedy is when the energies of a trauma and a tragedy collide. Now, we all go through different things. It could be a divorce, it could be losing your job, it could be an elderly parent passing away. These things are kind of normal, right? If a 70-year-old person it passes away. Okay. If someone loses their job, okay, that's kind of like the way life goes. But to have your son murdered is tragic. And that is something we have in common. And I kind of forgot because it's like I tell you, I talk to a lot of people. And when you said it again, so Hannah, someone's watching this right now. And can you just share how you're pushing through all that pain, turning it to purpose? What is your son saying right now? Is he shining down so proud of you, girl?
He's shining down and he's like, go, mommy, go, because I know you can. I know I'm not present, but I'm with you anyways. On January 12th of 2023, my son was murdered by a young man he called his brother, a young man who I embraced in my home. Even when I was not there, he was present in my home, not knowing a few years down the line, he was planning to kill
What
my
was the date again,
son.
Hannah?
And on January 12th of 2023, he picked up my son at my home, told him that they were going to have some fun, and he drove out to somewhere else with an accomplice and killed my son. Um, it is hard but not so hard because the Lord gave me a vision of this young man, and he told me in the vision this young man was going to take my son's life. I was in doubt. I could not believe it. And even if it weighed heavy on my heart and my mind was racing every second of the day, I began looking at everybody, every other young man he brought to my house, because I was in doubt that he would have done that. And it turned out that he did. And it was devastating. I was at work, and it was a beautiful Thursday. And it, let me reverse it. On that day, the clouds was gray, but still beautiful. My sons was home and I was getting ready for work. I checked on them and everyone was there, not knowing that after I checked on them, he left with those boys. I went to work and I felt that immense covering of peace. And I'm like, this is unusual. Why do I feel this way? And out of the blue, I did something unusual. I turned my phone down. I turned it down. I took the volume off completely. I worked as a nurse in a nursing home at the time. A few hours before my end of shift, something tell me to check my phone. So I went and I checked my phone and I got the call from one of my boys, Omando. And in that said, I immediately called him back because he asked me to. And my heart began to just race and race and race. And I was like, Lord, don't let it be what I think it is. And then when I called him, he said, Mom, have a seat. Are you sitting? So I said, yes. And he said, Mom, they have killed my brother Jay. I was sitting on a stool. The stool had four wheels. After the announcement hit my ears, the next place I found myself was on the floor. I don't know where the stool went. I don't know. It just disappeared from under me. And I said, Lord, why? Why me? Why my son? Without an answer, I was still in doubt that he died. I couldn't drive home. My family picked me up and took me home. But when I opened my front door, I felt that gash of cold wind hit me. And it's like it was a total confirmation that he was gone. I went up the stairs and I felt that cold, lonely bed. And I said, yes, you're truly gone. Today he would be 22 years old. And at the time he had a daughter. The daughter was a few months old. And I was like, My son was planning on his baby, planning on raising his daughter, planning on having a business, planning on doing a lot of things. And now he's not able to complete it because of someone's anger, rage, um, jealousy, and hatred, and the lack of forgiveness. Because if I call you my brother or I call you my sister, there is nothing too hard that I should not forgive you for, unless I do not know the ability of what it is to forgive. And then I will choose to do the wrong. And that's just what happened to my son.
Hannah, thank you so much for sharing that. And that story again goes back to the title. How did
Yes,
I get there? And I'm sure throughout this whole process. And another thing, it's only been 2 years. So this is still very new for you. And I'm giving you big kudos, Hannah, because I remember my 2 year, if anyone here has lost someone, especially someone as close like a child, year one is hard. And year two is a lot harder than year one. And I remember year one, Hannah, and tell me if you agree, it's like, how could it be harder than this? Like, I remember saying, like, there's no way it could hurt more than this. But year two is harder because it's real. They're not on vacation, they're not hanging out with friends. Your child is gone. And when that was going on, and I said, once I push through this, I can get through anything. So when people ask me, how am I doing? Dude, like I went through the worst thing of my life. I can get through anything. So the fact that this is your second year, Hannah, and you wrote a book, you're pushing through. And guys, let me
yeah.
tell you, I can't tell you how many times she tried to quit on me. He was like, I don't know about this, Tina. I said, shut up. I don't want to hear it. Shut up.
Yes.
When? That's my first thing. When? And she told me the date. Okay, let's make it happen. Make a plan. So, Hannah, I'm so excited to be working with you. The fact that you're doing a juicing thing, that we're warrior moms together. That's a word that someone coined. Warrior moms is a mom who's lost a child. Because if you've lost a child, it's like a war. You are a warrior. So thank you so much. I'm hugging you. Hopefully, you can get here in November for our retreat so we can celebrate you at the celebration. With that being said, thank you all for watching. I hope you've learned something in regards to nutrition. If you missed it, rewind, go back and watch it. We have our community. Like I said, you see the number scrolling on the bottom right there. We're opening up the community absolutely free. And then if you want to upgrade to other levels, you can. We have our nutrition classes, we have our prayer classes, we have our running club, our noon, like all sorts of things. All right, crew, I'm so excited to be here. We will see you next week. By the way, this class is normally on Tuesdays. Normally Tuesdays at 7:30, but yesterday I got a little busy and Melissa got a little busy. But we'll see you next week at 7:30. Peace. Add a bottle of hair grease. Bye.